What is up, guys? I am back, and I am back once again with these mock drafts, and with me once again is the man, the myth, the legend, Draz.
Howdy doody.
Alright, so, comparison to the last few mock drafts we did, a lot has changed, I would say, but I think more or less, compared to our last mock draft, it might be a little bit more consistent. Definitely some changes, I would say, but so far, I think some of the things will be staying the same.
I agree. And but there are a few changes that or like I said to you earlier, there was a couple of teams that wanted to make it very clear what their pre-draft plans were.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, the Chargers was one of them. I don't know if you saw some of their
I have not
press
seen it.
conferences.
I have not seen it, but we will save that for whenever we get to the Chargers because I want to do this team by team.
Sounds good.
I don't want to be jumping all over the place before we start this.
Agreed.
All right. So, with that out of the way, let's officially start this thing. Uh, if I can pull up the right window. Enter draft. All right.
Hell yeah, baby.
So, Carolina. On the clock, Chicago. It should be Carolinas, but they were stupid.
Yes. I would say we are relatively sure what they're going to do. I think this is a pretty simple pick.
It's going to be Caleb Williams. We all know this. There's nothing to doubt that it's going to be Caleb Williams.
Yeah, we're like 99.9% sure, especially with them trading with the Steelers.
Especially with them getting rid of Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Nobody heard that. Nobody heard that.
Justin just in. Fields. The Bears traded for Jalen Hurts and then immediately traded him away. Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. I don't know why Jalen Hurts came out of my mouth. But trading Justin Fields, that basically cements them as getting a quarterback, and they're going to get Caleb Williams. And I really hope that he flops.
For me, even as a Packers fan, I don't wish anybody to bust.
Hey,
even on the Patriots.
Hey,
even on the Patriots.
You watch your former college quarterback fuck off with his coach. Fucking traitor.
Oh well. Hey, I'm rooting for Mitchell Trubisky, and I'm a Duke fan, so
that's your first problem. You're cheering for Mitch Trubisky. I was cheering for him to stay on the Bears so they could continue to be mediocre, but
all right. So easy Caleb Williams, second overall pick, Washington.
I want to say
like I said,
I want to say quarterback again. But there is talk around circles that Drake May is dropping on draft boards for good reason, but
them trading away
they traded away Sam Howell.
Yeah, they traded away Howell. I think that's just 100% another confirmation that they're going to choose a quarterback.
They're definitely going to choose a quarterback, but the question is between Jaden Daniels and Drake May, what do they do? Because we know it's going to be between those two if you're in Washington's war room.
Yeah, again with this website on mine, Jaden Daniels is down at 21.
Yeah,
but I've also,
I don't know why he's down at 21.
I've done a lot more.
I know it.
I guess
it's not ranking based on quarterbacks. It's ranking based on all players. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. So as far as quarterbacks go, Jaden Daniels is more accomplished, 100%.
Definitely more accomplished. Again, I don't like Drake May because he's this draft's Zach Wilson. He's that toolsy quarterback.
I will say
he's that toolsy quarterback that has a great college playing against mediocre competition and is not known for anything else but throwing for 500 yards in one game.
I will say this though. I think if I'm correctly, the Devonte Adams made a post about Jaden Daniels,
Mm-hmm.
like the Raiders want him.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Basically quoting Jaden Daniels, "My resume speaks for itself." So Devonte Adams seems to want Jaden Daniels to go to the Raiders. I don't think that's going to happen, but
He definitely
just
doesn't.
throwing that out
He
there.
definitely doesn't get to pick 13. No
No,
way he
I
gets to
don't
pick
think so
13.
either.
But
Which, like I said, I was watching another mock draft, and that was their only reason why they traded. They had the Raiders trade up to pick 2,
and again,
and that was the only reason. And which I don't think is realistic. Like I said, I
yeah, it's
think
not realistic. That's lot.
Washington picks a QB, and
Yeah,
they want their choice of QBs.
but again, between Drake May, who's the toolsy quarterback but no accomplishments, between one of the more accomplished quarterbacks in this draft, who do you choose?
This is a nightmare pick, in my opinion. Like just in general, if you're Washington, because Drake May is very close to Howell, in my opinion, as far as like his tools. He's got a big arm, can show arm talent, but Jaden Daniels can just do things Drake May can't, right?
Again, he has the
And
Heisman.
he is
Again,
the more accomplished. Yeah,
I know the Heisman is arbitrary and it won't always mean you're going to be successful in the NFL. But it definitely does prove that you have the ability. Not McCarthy. May has nothing. He doesn't have any ACC championships. He doesn't have any national championship appearances or a playoff appearance. He just has stats. And stats can always be misleading
yeah.
one way or the other.
I'm honestly, last time I was actually convinced Drake May might go over Daniels, but the more I've seen, I think Washington picks Jaden Daniels. I wouldn't be surprised if they took Drake May, but I think they take Daniels.
It's the question between it's the question between whether or not the Commanders are going to be stupid or they're going to be smart. Stupid's Drake May. Smart is Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels. And to me, I hope they're smart.
I think they draft Jaden Daniels.
I'll agree.
All right, so Jaden Daniels at 2.
All right,
which brings
us to number 3 quarterbacks. Well, I think this is just them. I think this is just New England having no choice in the matter.
Honestly, I would not be surprised if they took Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, no, Marvin Harrison is an intriguing option.
Didn't they get Jacoby Brissett?
I'll say, yeah, they took Jacoby Brissett, and Marvin Harrison would be an intriguing option. I don't know who's going to be the next round of quarterbacks coming through in 2025. I don't know who might be able to. I don't know who might get.
Arch Manning, maybe.
No, I don't think Arch Manning's actually going to start next year, but honestly, I hope he transfers away from Texas.
I would be surprised if he didn't.
I know who was the Riley Leonard. I think that was his name. I know he's going to be draft eligible.
I think it all comes down to what they think of Drake May as a quarterback, and I don't think, personally, in my opinion, they will stare down the barrel of Drake May and see anything other than Mac Jones.
Well, I mean,
if that makes sense, because it's like I don't think Mac Jones is a worse prospect than Drake May was. Or than Drake May is. I think they're very similar to the.
Well, I know, but here's the thing.
Caliber.
Here's the thing. Drake May and Mac Jones, you can't really compare the two.
Yeah.
Drake May, he has the stats, and he's working with weapons that are not going to be first or second round talents. So he can do things that Mac Jones can't.
This one's actually tough.
It is tough.
Actually tough.
Because
I would not be surprised if they took Marvin Harrison at all.
If the Patriots are smart and they do take Drake May, they will have him roast behind
yeah.
They'll have him sit behind Jacoby Brissett if they're smart. Because we all know Jacoby Brissett, he's a good quarterback in a pinch, but he's not going to be your long-term starter. Indy found that out the hard way.
Yeah, I also think he's good in a good situation.
And yeah, although weapons are tempting for them, getting them weapons are tempting for them, you can't exactly have a Maserati on the outside of the field, but nobody to throw the ball.
Yeah.
So honestly, I will say Drake May for now. My
Yeah,
mind
I
might
agree with that.
my mind might change when we get closer to the draft day, but for now, I think Drake May.
We might could even do another one
Yeah, to those watching right now,
the night of
to those
or the day before.
to those watching right now, we are recording April 9th of 2024. So so there's no confusion. All right.
Right, which leaves us with 3 QBs off the board and the Cardinals, who will not be choosing a QB.
They definitely won't be. I still think they still got faith in Kyler Murray. I still think Kyler Murray can be good. And honestly,
He played really well last year at the end of it. We just didn't get a lot of.
He played well. He just didn't have any help. And the defense, for as bad as it was, did have some good players on it. You know, I still think they got Buda Baker, right?
Yes, I believe
They
so.
still got Buda Baker. I think they had a good edge rusher and a good middle linebacker, but the rest of it was awful.
Yeah, they sold hard. That being said, I think for me the obvious choice here is Marvin Harrison.
Yeah,
they get him a weapon.
Yeah, their top 3 receivers from last year, Marquise Brown, Rondale Moore, and some other dude. 2 of the 3 of those are gone. So you got to replace that production. And that is obvious with Marvin Harrison. But I will say this. There is talk around that Malik Neighbors is getting talk about being better than Marvin Harrison.
I don't think it'll get to the point where people actually put Neighbors above. I believe he could be better, but Harrison has just been like the number 1 guy for so long.
Well, I know. He's been like the consensus number 1 receiver for the past couple of years, and nobody wants to shift from that because nobody wants to shift from that.
Yeah, it very well could. When all things are done, he could be the better. Neighbors could be the better wide receiver in the NFL. But I think that
I certainly
hope their mind.
I certainly hope so. The NFL has had enough Ohio State receivers.
So, are we in agreement of Marvin Harrison?
We're in agreement.
Okay.
All
now,
right.
This is the one I was actually excited to talk about this week.
So, what did the Chargers say?
Specifically, it's their new head coach.
All right.
His name right now.
Jim Harbaugh.
Harbaugh, yeah. He said that he is going to take it old-fashioned. He believes in going for offensive line first.
All right,
offensive line first. And whether that means they're I was about to say they are. I don't know that for sure, right? It could be, that he's just doing a smoke screen and he sees that Malik Neighbors is there and wants to replace the wide receivers. But my current guess is Joe Alt.
I'll say, if what you're saying is true, and he did exactly say that, then
I can bring up the exact quote if you want, real quick.
Go ahead.
He said, "The offensive line to me is important. If I ask you a question like what position group depends on no other position group to be good, but every other group depends on them to be good, what position group is that? The offensive line. The offensive line's they're not relying on any other position group to be good. They go out, yet every other position group relies on the offensive line to be good." And then their tight end coach on the offensive line this week. This is going to be an O-line centric building. Some people don't value offensive linemen. We do. This will be a place where offensive linemen are going to want to come and play.
Well, I mean, it worked out for him, that philosophy in Michigan, so.
Yeah. That being said,
that Michigan team didn't exactly have stud receivers either, so.
It screams Joe Alt to me.
Yeah.
But also, like I said, again, I would not be surprised. They just lost 2 wide receivers.
Yeah, they lost Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. Granted, Keenan Allen is in his 30s and he's reaching that point where he's starting to dip in production. And Mike Williams was always injury prone. So Really, what are they?
Yeah.
What have they not gotten from that? What have they already not gotten?
Wide receivers are also pretty plentiful. You can find them in the second round.
You can find a.
You
You
know,
can find. The general rule of thumb is that usually you can find a good player in any round, but the ones that are always seem to be spreading across all of them is running back and wide receiver. I don't know how, but that just seems to be the way the draft works.
I feel like you can teach some things
Puka
about.
Nacua was a 5th-round pick, I think.
Yeah.
And Cooper Kupp was a 3rd-round pick. Chris Godwin was
Devontae Adams was a 3rd-round pick.
Chris Godwin and Devontae Adams were 3rd-round picks. Crap, some of the guys that are on the Chargers right now were undrafted free agents, and they did pretty well with just
none of Green Bay's wide receivers are first round.
Yeah, no.
So that being said,
I think I will agree with you. If what you're saying is true, and this is not in fact a smokescreen, it does scream Joe Alt.
Yeah, like I said, it could be entirely a smokescreen, or they could be just saying we think that our offensive line is good and we want to sign people in the future, right? Yeah. But that being said, I feel like Joe Alt is what they go with.
Yeah. Okay, so Giants. I keep saying this and I will keep saying it. You got to get your quarterback weapons. I don't.
They're stuck with Daniel Jones. They're stuck with him.
I know. I don't care who you are, though. He was set up to fail, and nobody could convince me otherwise.
Yeah, no. He straight up, dude was in a miserable position last year. I don't know why. Well, they were all right.
Like
the
again,
previous year.
But
you're supposed to build on that.
They went to the playoffs and won a playoff game, and hilariously beat who I thought were the biggest frauds in the NFL at that point.
Yes,
but they were playing against one of the league's worst defenses, and they had Walmart cashiers out on wide receiver duty, basically.
Agreed.
Now, whatever the hell's going on with their O-line, I got no clue. But Daniel Jones has never had a true number one receiver during his time with the Giants.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And I absolutely agree that if they're smart, they choose an offensive weapon here. And they won't choose someone like Brock Bowers because they did trade for Darren Waller.
Oh, Darren Waller, right.
They traded for him last year.
I can't believe I forgot about him.
And he was injured for like the whole year this last year.
I can't believe I forgot about Darren Waller. Between Malik Neighbors and Roma Dunze, we figured it out. His name is Adunze. So, between Malik Neighbors and Roma Dunze, who do you choose? You got Malik Neighbors, who's more accomplished, but Roma Dunze is a great deep threat. And in the Giants' offense, what do you lean on the most?
You know what? I don't know. I honestly think from a prospect standpoint, Neighbors is like his caliber's higher. And you were just saying that some people are saying he's better than Marvin Harrison. So
yeah. So logicking here, Malik Neighbors goes.
Logically speaking.
I'll agree.
But again, it's not a huge reach if certain teams get higher on certain prospects. So
I'll say, look what happened with Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, you could be you wouldn't completely surprise me if Dunze was taken, but Neighbors is the current guess.
Yeah. Okay. Titans. Dang, I'm trying to think. What did the Titans lose? I'm trying to remember. I know they lost Derrick Henry. I know that.
Lost Derrick Henry. But they gained Tony Pollard.
Yeah, Tony Pollard is a good back in a rotation.
Signed Mason Rudolph. They signed Calvin Ridley.
Okay,
they signed Lloyd Cushenberry, center from the.
Okay, so they definitely got a need at wide receiver then.
Cornerback Awuzie, L'Jarius Sneed too. So they Dude,
Okay,
they fucking upgraded. Holy shit.
yeah, so we can safely say that their corner situation is good and their line is decent. Always can upgrade, though. My question is
Yeah.
D-Hop still on the team? That means they got Calvin Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins on the outside.
I think they're pretty good.
Okay, but here's the thing. Who's their tight end?
I was about to say, if you
About
don't
to
need
say,
wide receiver,
If you don't need wide receiver and you got help on your line and your secondary, you got to go tight end here if you don't have it.
yeah, which I think,
which apologies already to Roma Dunze, but you're not going to Tennessee.
yeah, they have their best tight end is Okonkwo.
Yeah, and Okonkwo was I think the second tight end on that roster.
Yeah. So
Brock Bowers
I
it
feel
is.
like Brock Bowers is a pretty good. Well, also, from a just from a standpoint of Tennessee, a tight end, if you can get a good tight end, that can really help develop a quarterback.
Just ask the Chiefs.
Just as the Chiefs, just as the Patriots. You can get a elite. Don't ask the Falcons though. Don't ask the Falcons.
Don't ask the Falcons. They were in quarterback hell.
All right, so
the glorified split end down there.
Are we set on?
I'm set on Brock Bowers. I don't know about you.
I'm good with that.
All right, Falcons. They fixed their biggest need with signing Kirko Cringe. So what do they really need is my question.
They're pretty good at corner. They are pretty good at
I know it says defensive line on PFF. I know that much. But the middle of their line is not that bad. They still have Grady Jarrett. Wait, I think Grady Jarrett was a defensive tackle.
Let me look at their moves.
Look at Grady Jarrett. Fuck, I'll do it.
All the way to, okay.
Was Grady Jarrett an
NFC South? Kirk Cousins, Ray McLeod, Hodge, Darnell Mooney, Rondale Moore. Holy shit!
Yeah, they have Grady Jarrett at defensive tackle. Is Calais Campbell still with him? Calais Campbell is not with him. Okay.
Edge can Street stayed. Yeah, they got no defensive line help, no corner help, no defensive help. But they signed 4 wide receivers.
They never really needed help at corner anyways. They already have A.G. Terrell and Jesse Bates back there.
The only offensive lineman they got was Storm Norton. But their offensive line wasn't horrible last year, was it?
No, it wasn't. I think one of their linemen actually got an All-Pro nod. All right, but
honestly, Edge might be the fucking the run.
It might be. Because they don't really have
from a need standpoint.
I'll say they don't really have good pass rushers, do they? Grady Jarrett's a defensive tackle, and I think it usually is up there and leading the team in sacks most of the years. Now, that means that you're a good defensive tackle. It just means that you're also the focal point and you can easily be double-teamed.
Yeah. I think, honestly, for lack of a better option...
I'll say, honestly, I might actually... This hurts me to say it. I think Jer'Zhan Newton goes here.
Yeah?
But I don't like good players going to my rivals. I hate that.
Honestly, they would, in my opinion, which I don't think this is actually going to happen, but I think that Newton or Cooper DeJean would go. Or a cornerback of equal wherever you have the corners.
There is a wild card option here. What if the Broncos trade up to try and leapfrog the Vikings? Because we all know those two are going to be fighting over a quarterback.
I don't think the Broncos will trade up.
I'm just saying it's a consideration.
They're kind of in hell, and they trade up. They also have to pay whoever they draft more money. I know that's not like some major thing, but they are in cap hell. They're not even in cap hell. They're in cap purgatory. They haven't even gotten to hell yet. they have a long ways to go before they get to hell. But regardless,
All right, so no on a trade up. Gotcha.
personally, no on a trade.
Okay.
But
I'm just saying, consider that an option. If it does happen, I'm going to contact you and say I told you so.
well, we have one more draft to play with. We'll have to see how
potentially one more draft.
This week I'll actually have to look more at the Falcons and see what they're thinking.
But I'm going to go.
I would not be surprised though. Like the thing is last year they drafted a running back right around this time too.
Well, I know, and that was Bijan Robinson, and they had the number 4 pick, I think.
Best available is a wide receiver. I would like.
Yes, but they don't need a wide receiver.
They don't. They really don't. Running back, they kind of needed a running back.
I'll say they just paid Rondell Moore. Not Rondell Moore. Who was the guy? Mooney. I forget his first name. The guy for the Bears.
Yeah, Darnell Mooney.
They paid Darnell movie. Darnell Movie. But they paid Darnell Mooney 3 years and $24 million, I think. So they wouldn't be drafting a wide receiver.
Yeah. All right.
So they need defensive line with them getting rid of Calais Campbell. I will go with Jajon Newton, and I'm going to actually be pained while I click this draft button.
Yep.
All right.
Chicago again.
Honestly, I think they go for a 1-2 punch here. Get another wide receiver while you're at it.
No, they got another wide receiver already. They got Keenan Allen, didn't they?
Right.
They did.
It's still
so they're paying $20 million plus to.
Well, I know, but Keenan Allen is
DJ Moore.
Keenan Allen is
$30 million to Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen is both injury prone and he's 32 years old. How long do you think he'll last on the field?
I will say this: they got their need at quarterback. They signed an absolutely colossal fuck ton of people in free agency. Let me go down the.
Yeah, they did relatively.
DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, they did relatively
Allen,
well.
Dante Pettis, Ryan Bates, Jake Kernan, offensive line, Matt Pryor, offensive line, Coleman Shelton, center, Gerald Everett, tight end, Jake Martin, defensive line. Dude, I'm not even gonna pronounce that. Amin Ogbong Mabinga or what? Mabinga.
Ogbong. Ogbong Mabinga.
Ogbong Mabingaboo or whatever his name is. Sorry, no disrespect, my friend.
No disrespect. It's just I this is why I love football. Like football names are the most creative ones you can come across.
Yeah.
Like you never see
Jalen Johnson.
You never see it in baseball. You never see it in hockey. Well, you see it in hockey sometimes with Russian players, but you never see it in the NBA. It's always football with those funny names and the ones that are fun to pronounce.
Yep. Well, they also got Kevin Byard and Jonathan Owens at safety.
That's always good.
They could absolutely go luxury and just say
they could either go luxury.
Screw it.
They could either go luxury or they can trade it.
That one is tough. Because I could see them trade it. I could see them trade for more. But also, I could really see them pick wide receiver. I really see them pick.
I'll say it worked out for it worked.
That's an aggressive move for Caleb Williams.
I will say it is along the line of what the Cowboys did with CeeDee Lamb, and look what happened.
Yeah.
So honestly, if they do stick with this pick, I honestly think they might be able to trade this to any quarterback-hungry team. However, if they do keep this and they do pick a player, it's going to be a wide receiver, and it's not going to change my mind.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So
you talked me into it.
Roma Dunze?
Yes, let's assume they don't trade it this time.
In.
Is that fair?
All right, Jets. Well, this is a going theme. You need a lineman. I'm sorry. Nope, you need a lineman.
We signed a left tackle.
We?
Well, Aaron Rodgers and I. Me and Aaron Rodgers are we're butt buddies. I love Aaron Rodgers. I still love you, even though you're not at Green Bay, Rodgers.
Well, I
All right.
mean, let's be honest. They need a tackle here. But
They signed a new starting quarterback too. They got Tyrod Taylor.
that's oh yeah.
So they got John Simpson,
Murphy's
offensive
Law.
lineman,
Murphy's
Morgan Moses.
Murphy's Law at quarterback for
They
the
got
Jets.
Morgan Moses,
Yeah, they got Morgan Moses.
Mike Williams, John Simpson, Morgan Moses, Tyron Smith.
So they got good.
Javen Kinlaw, Hassan Reddick as well. I saw that one. Isaiah Oliver, Solomon Thomas, edge, corner, kicker, edge, defensive lineman, offensive
Like they did
tackle, offensive tackle.
They did relatively well to try and address that offensive line. However, I think you want some talent on that line.
I don't think we'll go for tackle because we have the Jets have. I'm in Packers mode now. We have. They have. Who's their right?
On the tip of my tongue, they drafted him in 2020. He was drafted before Tristan Wirfs, but right after Evan Neal. It was Mekhi Becton I was thinking of.
Mekhi Becton. Yeah, is he not there anymore? I don't see him on their depth chart.
I wouldn't blame him. Mekhi Becton's been awful. But anyways, getting back on track.
Yeah, he's in free agent or he does not have a deal, I think.
And anyways, back on track.
Anyway, well, that's news to me. A right tackle wouldn't be horrible.
Definitely not.
Moses is not awful. I will say Moses is not awful, but you could get an upgrade there.
Definitely. So PFF has them ranked like this: it's Talise Fuaga, Troy Fatanu, and then Olu Fashanu. Honestly, think it's Olu Fashanu, Faltanu. I think. Oh God, these names. They're tongue twisters. It's, to me, the order is this. I know PFF has them ranked like this, but to me it's this. You got Olu, then you got Troy, then you got Talise. Then you got Tyler, then Amarius, then JC. Also, Graham Barton's listed on here as a tackle, even though he's a guard. Don't know what that's all about.
Why. He's also on the I think no, he's not. They took him out of the interior offensive lineman section. That's weird.
Offensive lineman, I honestly think Olu is still the best prospect here. He's just so massive, and he's coming from a Big Ten school, and Big Ten schools are always known for their offensive lines.
But will the Jets decide that? Will they come to that conclusion? The Jets. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's the Jets.
Yes. So, you got Talise Fuaga, Troy Fatanu, and Olu Fashanu. Those are your top 3 tackle prospects.
Yes.
Now, I have a soft spot for Olu because he's gigantic. Like, he's a mountain of a man that's hard to move, and he didn't give up a single sack in college. But let me look at the combine stuff here. Honestly, from what I'm looking on the combine, it seems that Fuaga is the more athletic of the 3. So
let's choose Fuaga then.
Yeah,
he's a more eye-popping. Prospect.
All right. Vikings. They're getting J.J. McCarthy. I feel it in my bones. When they get to pick 11, it's going to be McCarthy.
Yeah, not much pushback from me. Not much pushback. I've literally read in the last 3 weeks 4 or 5 different mock drafts. Everybody is like, J.J. McCarthy's going.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all the thought we'll put into it. Is we think they're going QB, and we think we're going JJ McCarthy.
Okay, so we got the Broncos. They need a quarterback. However, Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr. are kind of one and the same. They're good quarterbacks. One's more injury prone. The other did not have much success.
Yes.
I personally think Michael Penix is better than Bo Nix, but they're both projected to be late first round picks or early second round picks. So what are the odds that the Broncos trade back?
I still wouldn't put it at a super high. I don't know. It's not a. This is probably the toughest pick so far.
But I'll say, because
no idea.
You can argue that it's too early to be drafting either of them, but at the same time, they desperately need it. And they did nothing in free agency to fix it.
Agreed.
Again, personally, I think Michael Penix is better, despite the injury concerns. However, again, it's just a matter of the fact that what they're ranked on PFF and what I want to happen is drastically apart.
Yes, I would agree with that as well.
Does it mean that teams won't look at this and go for it anyways? No.
If I was the Broncos, I would not be even thinking about quarterback in this draft, but they have literally, as far as I know, let me look at.
I think they only have Jarrett Stidham, and that's it.
Yeah, they signed no one of note.
Okay,
well, specifically because they're paying $49 million to somebody.
So do they go quarterback or draft?
Not even there.
If they do quarterback and they don't trade back, what do they do? Let's say at wide receiver, they still got Cortland Sutton.
We haven't drafted a single corner right now.
We haven't, but they don't. I know it's listed as a need, but they don't really need it. So they still got Pat Surtain back there.
Oh man, this is a tough one.
Again, my mind, I keep getting this thing in my head that's saying that the Broncos are going to trade back. I keep seeing it.
With who, though?
That's the question. I don't know who. I just see them trading back. So it could very well be the Rams. It could very well be the Steelers. It could very well be any of those teams. I just don't know who would. But I just feel like somebody is going to trade up.
What do you think about Byron Murphy as that pick?
Byron Murphy, who?
They don't have a whole lot. It's hard because it's like.
Well, they got a good line. They already have a good line. They already have a good line. They already have a good defensive line. I don't think they would take Byron Murphy.
If I was them, I would just take best available. But it's not me, right?
Yeah.
It's not me because at this point.
It's George.
You're screwed for the next 3 years.
You're screwed for the next 3 years, so you might as well just try fixing whatever you can fix.
Yeah, build a roster and then finish with quarterback, right?
Yeah.
But they haven't been smart. They're the worst franchise in football right now.
Okay.
I do not trust.
Again,
I do not trust them at all.
It pains me to do this, but if they need to fix. They need to start fixing things now, and it starts with quarterback. They need to get whatever they can get at right now.
Yeah.
And they got 12 picks to do it. In this draft. They got 12 picks they can do it with. And being honest, Michael Pratt's not that bad. Jordan Travis is not that bad. Tulia Tagovailoa, he's not bad. Sam Hartman's not bad. They can always draft one of these guys in the later rounds.
Yeah.
So I honestly think they do trade back, but with who, I don't know.
Who needs a defensive piece badly.
Seattle. They need one bad. Seattle and the Jags need defense bad.
I'm thinking if we're gonna trade back to somebody, Jaguars would not be them because I think they want a line. That's personally for me.
Well, I know, but that defense was the reason why they choked so hard. Anyways, but I do. If any of those two do trade back, it'll be the Seahawks doing it. It will be the Seahawks because they had an overhaul on that defense as far as I'm concerned. They lost Bobby Wagner. They lost, I think, two of their four defensive linemen, and they're always thin at corner for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Oh, and the best thing about this, if you do trades on PFF, you can actually include players.
This one's
Oh wait,
tough.
no, we can't trade. It's a freaking PFF thing. God damn it. Okay, this is why I like Pro Football Network. You can do trades and you don't have to have them locked behind a paywall. All right.
Yeah, that one's tough. This one's tough.
All right. But just for the record, again, I feel like they will trade back. It feels like they will trade back. And it does feel like it'll happen with Seattle. But since we're being forced to do this vanilla, then who do they pick?
I'd say either a tackle or a quarterback.
A tackle. Okay, that's tight end. I keep doing this. All right. The best tackle here is Troy Fatanu. Do we want to? It's between Troy Fatanu and Olu Fashanu. Between the two, I think Fashanu is better than Troy.
Let's take Fatanu simply because
Yeah.
even if Ashanu is better, they're gonna choose stupidly.
All right.
Can you tell I don't like the Broncos organization?
Yes. All right. So we got the Raiders, who are in the same situation quarterback wise, but they don't really have any real pressing need.
They're not going quarterback because they have already said they're in a 2-man race already. I don't think they'll make it a 3-man race. I think they'll just stick with it.
But I'll say, offensive line is on the list of needs for them, and I kind of agree.
I agree as well.
So Troy is the next tackle off the board, I'm going to assume. Unless, hold on. Let me look at this. But I'll say, they do need corner. They haven't had a good corner in a while. And Quentin Mitchell
got Amir Abdullah and Alexander Madison. They got center on Andre James and 3 defensive linemen. John Jenkins, Butler, and Christian Wilkins.
I'm thinking Quinyon Mitchell here.
That's fine with me. We'll make it simple.
Yeah, he's from a smaller school, but he's athletic as hell. And whatever weaknesses this guy might have, I think he'll be coached up. He seems to be very He seems to me to be very coachable. All right, the bane of my existence.
All
right.
Saints. They are not going to pick a quarterback.
Yeah, QB is listed as a need.
QB
is listed as a need. No, it's not. If they needed a quarterback that would fix their stuff so bad, Derek Carr would have worked. But again, I've said this for the past few drafts. Trevor Penning has been awful. They need to replace somebody at that tackle position. Troy is there. I'm going to go with it.
That's fine. We'll speed run it.
Well, we won't quite speed run. We're still going to put some thought into it. Okay, yes, Colts.
Not speed run.
All right, I'm thinking defensive back for the Colts.
Absolutely.
You got Cooper DeJean, you got Teron Arnold, you got Nate Wiggins, you got Kool-Aid McKinstry. I will be honest, I think Cooper DeJean, he is very versatile, and apparently he had very good workouts with the teams he visited. However, Terrion Arnold, he is on a different level coming from the SEC. You know, SEC quarterbacks are usually the best ones you could come across.
Uh,
Usually. I'm not saying there's been some flops.
I don't think DeJean falls much further though.
But I'll say he
Personally,
definitely won't fall much further. There's definitely teams that will grab him.
I think personally, DeJean, if they're picking corner,
That's really picking a defensive back.
all right. So, are you okay with DeJean?
I'm alright with DeJean.
All right,
Well, I think it's pronounced DeJean, but whatever.
DeJean.
Alright,
The jeans don't fit me anymore.
yeah. Alright, so Seahawks. They need an edge. I do like
Yeah.
Leatu for them.
It really comes down to whether they like Leatu or Turner better. Personally, if I remember correctly, didn't Leatu have better physicals?
For edges, Dallas Turner had the fastest 40. Leatu was 0.2 seconds slower than him. All right, for the vertical, which is kind of important for anybody on the edge, Dallas Turner also won that out.
So he crushed him.
He led all edges in those things.
Oh,
He did have a
he's from Alabama.
yeah, I think
He just gets that. The Alabama gets such a bias.
it does. It gets a bias because it's like the powerhouse. Well, not the powerhouse anymore, but which I'm fine with. But I think Dallas Turner does go here.
All right, yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right, Jaguars. They need defense. They need it bad. That defense is primarily the reason why they went 8-3 and then fell apart.
They also need guards. Something terrible though. Their run game was absolutely atrocious last year.
They do need guard. I will admit. Here,
they got a few people.
Let me look at edge
Latham,
and interior.
Mims, Bartone. Why is Bartone a tackle now? He's a guard.
I don't know. I don't know why PFF does it. This is why I kind of prefer PFN. But Graham Barton.
Jackson Powers Johnson as well.
Yeah, Graham Barton is there, but they do need a center bad. They got rid of their starting center after last year.
Deservedly so.
Yeah. So I'm fine going with Jackson Powers. I'm completely fine with that.
I think so. I think so. I watched Jacksonville games more than any other team.
And that's
I think I said that in the last.
You said that the last time, and that's because you live in Florida.
Yeah, and good God, they would try to run it up the gut, and it didn't matter who they used. They just could not go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like the only way they could actually get something going is if ETN bounced it to the outside, or they just dropped it to him in the flat. That was the only thing that they could do to stimulate the run game, and even that was against good football teams. They just got destroyed.
Yeah, I'm fine with saying King Jackson Powers Johnson.
Yeah, that's. I think. I wouldn't be surprised if they took defense though.
Yeah.
One of the biggest reasons why they lost was that, but also the run game was absolutely atrocious, and it wasn't their running back's fault.
All right, Bengals. Again, it seems like a perennial need, but they need somebody on the line.
Yes, they do.
It's always. Why do they always need offensive line? It never stops.
They never address it, dude.
Well, I know. I will say, let's just get J.C. Latham out of the way so I don't have to stare at that name anymore. Because I keep shooting this. I keep seeing this man shooting up draft boards for no reason, and it's bugging me.
Who is it? Who?
J.C. Latham.
Get with me.
All right,
Now the Rams.
Rams. Again,
I think they go to replace.
Yeah, same as last time. Just replace Aaron Donald,
Yeah,
Byron Murphy.
I think. Yep, simple.
Good.
If Byron Murphy falls here, then
Then they take him.
yes.
All right, Steelers. This is going to be one of those weird ones.
All right, they will be drafting Jordan Travis.
They need wide, they need wide receiver. They always need a wide receiver, but they also got rid of Patrick Peterson, so they need corner.
They might desperately need corner. Holy, let me think. Let me look at that real quick. What did they do? They signed 3 quarterbacks: Kyle Allen, Justin Fields, Russell Wilson. They got Van Jefferson, and they got Cordell Patterson and Quez Watkins at wide receiver.
Good lord.
I know those aren't like amazing names. They also got Patrick Queen. Ooh, I forgot. They got Dante Jackson for Deontay Johnson.
They traded Dante Johnson.
They traded Deontay Johnson to the Panthers for Dante Jackson.
Who's Dante Jackson?
A corner.
Oh. Well, still, corner is on the top of my mind, and also wide receiver.
It's corner or wide receiver. It's one of those two.
But I'll say,
100%.
you got Terrion Arnold there.
Honestly, I think Arnold is the best because if you look at the wide receivers,
Yeah, the next wide receiver to be taken, that's projected to be taken, is Brian Thomas.
yeah, and he's late first round, isn't he?
Yeah, late first round.
I think they choose a need, but best available.
Yeah.
I think they need wide receiver more, but corner is also.
So, Terrion Arnold?
Yeah.
Okay. So we got the Dolphins. They got rid of half their O-line, and their freaking defense
They
is a
draft
mess.
O-line here.
Yeah.
Their defense is that is a whole nother defense is a whole nother thing, but their offensive line, they lost a tackle specifically. One of the best tackles in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want Bartone to go there, but he might.
But I'll say Graham Barton. That might actually be Graham Barton's landing spot as a guard, because it's either him or Amarius Mims at tackle.
I want him to fall 4 more picks and get drafted by Green Bay. Another Duke player on Green Bay.
We got to do this fairly.
I know. I know.
Well, I don't think we can do this fairly because we can't trade, but still.
I think he's better than Mims, but I'm biased.
Again, they are 2 different positions here. Graham is a guard. He's actually a guard. Yes. I don't know why PFF has him as a tackle, but he's a guard. And then Mims is a tackle.
Technically, they need everything on the offensive line in a way.
Yes, technically, yes.
They've got some pieces there, but let's see. Let me look and see if they signed it. Because if they signed like 4 guards or something, like
4 guards,
they went out of their way. They went out of their way to sign offensive tackle Jack Driscoll, Kendall Lamb, Aaron Brewer, Robert Jones, Isaiah Wynn, and then 4 defensive tackles. Holy.
Yeah.
2 cornerback. They got Kendall Fuller. I forgot. I don't think they draft defense here. They signed a lot of people in free agency on defense. Mm-hmm. 4 defensive tackles, 1 defensive lineman, 2 linebackers, 2 corners, 1 safety, and 1 defensive back. And they signed a couple offensive linemen. 2 offensive tackles, 1 center, 2 offensive linemen.
Okay, but between a tackle and a guard, what does Miami choose?
I think a tackle. They lost their best offensive lineman at tackle to the Panthers.
Robert Hunt's a guard.
He is a guard?
He's a guard. I'm pretty sure he was a guard.
I thought he was a left tackle, but he might.
No, He's a right
Guard
guard.
and tackle.
Okay, but he primarily
Guard/tackle. But yes,
he primarily played guard.
maybe they slid him this year to tackle.
I don't think they did. But I will say, Graham Barton to replace Robert Hunt does sound like a sweet deal.
So who? Bartone?
Yeah, I'm sorry to do it to you, Draz. I know you want him
Yeah.
to follow the Green Bay, but we got to be honest here.
Hey, pick 21's not terrible for a Duke player.
Yeah.
Can't be mad at that.
All right, Eagles. They need CB help. They need linebacker help.
They need safety help. They need linebacker help.
Yeah, and
They say wide receivers their highest need.
They do not need a wide receiver, PFF. You're stupid. Nate Wiggins and just be done with it?
Yeah. That's pretty good.
All
I'm
right,
not too concerned.
Minnesota's second pick.
I forgot they have a second pick. Did we choose quarterback? We did.
We did.
Yeah, that I was about to say. So J.J. McCarthy.
Tight end? Why do you have a tight end listed for him?
They need to replace T.J. Hawkinson. He's washed, obviously.
Okay, but it says D-line is their most important need.
They lost Neil Hunter.
They did lose Daniil Hunter, and Leitu and Jared Verse are there. And again,
leaning toward Leitu right now. But
I do like.
Look and see what they
personally do. I personally do like Leitu better than Jared Verse.
Sam Darnold, Aaron Jones, Powell, Sherfield. They picked up a few. Van Ginkel, Greenard.
Van Ginkel is a linebacker.
Yeah, linebacker Van Ginkel and Jonathan Greenard. They picked up.
Yeah,
and paid him big money.
I will say
Jihad Ward as well. Jerry Tillery, Jonathan Bullard, Jonah Williams, and linebacker Blake Cashman, linebacker Gruger Hill, and Shaquille Griffin. A lot of defense.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, they needed it. They also, in the last 2 years, cleared out 80% of their defensive.
Okay, well, I like Leitu.
I like that as well. I think he's fallen far enough. And I think that any team at this point would really want to have, especially somebody with a need at that position.
Yeah. All right, Dallas. What do they choose?
I would not be surprised if they took someone like Bo Nix. They refused to give, so they made it so that I think that
seriously,
he could leave.
Seriously,
their quarterback could leave.
Seriously think. What do they need? About to say they do have a hole at wide receiver. They do need a running back, and they need to replace Tyron Smith.
The Vikings. We were just talking about the Vikings. The Cowboys are in such a weird position right now. I think honestly they might move on from Dak Prescott at the end of this year, and I honestly think that they might move on from Micah Parsons.
Okay, but here's your top players at those first three positions: Amarius Mims, Brian Thomas, Tyler Guyton, Adonai Mitchell. And then the first running back projected to be taken is Jonathan Brooks.
I'm looking at these long ass lists of free agency moves. The Vikings have the Cowboys have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 4 of them were re-signs.
Re-signed a long snapper. That's the way we're going to win free agency.
So stupid, dude. Oh my!
All right, but honestly,
I'm sorry, Cowboys fans. I'm not making fun of you. But Eric Kendrick is the only person that you added.
Amarius Mims.
Oh,
can we just go Amarius Mims for the Tyler Smith replacement and go from there?
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you take the wheel.
All right, Jesus, take the wheel. All right, Green Bay. Now, Green Bay is kind of interesting because I think we lost our right guard.
It was your right tackle.
So,
It was your right tackle, right, Bakhtiari?
well, Bakhtiari didn't start last year. We already had really decent left tackle play. We have Rashid Walker and Zach Tom, and they both had a decent year. We got Josh Jacobs, AJ Dillon resigned. Tyler Davis, Eric Wilson, Valentine resigned, Keyshawn Nixon resigned. We got Xavier McKinney, and I think last time, one of the last picks, I chose safety. I chose a safety. But we addressed our safety issue in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
So, honestly, we are either, in my opinion, we are either going to address defensive line, address the eventuality that Preston Smith he's getting up there in age. He will be gone at some point. And Green Bay loves to put somebody behind another player to learn from them.
I'll say it did work out with Aaron Rodgers before, and it worked out with Jordan Love.
Hey, it worked out. It worked out with why can't I think of his name? Who's our Sean Gary? Yeah, Gary. Worked out with Gary.
Mm-hmm.
We also, though, I think we desperately need a right end and a left end. I'm not exactly sure. I know we slid at times. We slid.
I'm about to say you could do the Green Bay special and
Kenny
pick
Clark.
You could do the Green Bay special and pick a corner in the late round.
That's what I did last. I know the last draft. I think I took Kool-Aid.
But you took DeJean again.
Oh, was it back to back?
It was back to back DeJean picks for Green Bay.
Well,
I'll say it does make sense, but I don't. Again, I think you're right in saying he probably doesn't fall that far. But
so
here's the thing.
Right now, I'm thinking Jared Verse.
Y'all need a safety, right?
Kool-Aid, we signed a safety.
Okay.
Xavier
all right. You're fine. You're fine there. But I saw Tyler Nubbin and I was like, maybe.
But I would not be surprised if we took a guard.
You guys do.
But there's no one left. There's no one left that I would really want them to pick.
Well, there's no one left at interior line. But I'll say you can always take a tackle and move them.
Yeah, I think that we will. We haven't drafted offense in the first round
this
in forever.
bugs me so much. When you go to interior O line, it's mainly just center, and they got guard. But for some reason, they don't have players who are guards here.
Okay, how big is Kool-Aid? What's his physicals?
About 12 fluid ounces, right?
12 ounces. 194 pounds. How big is he? 6'1", 194. Hey. I cannot.
So you need? Are you going on with the Packers special?
Fuck it, Packers special.
Packers special, Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Packers late first round corner that never works out.
Kevin King.
Right.
Oh, by the way, Kevin King went to Atlanta.
Yep, Kevin King, Eric Stokes,
we need
Demarius
to get
Randall.
Hey,
this goes on and on.
We now need to get Scotty Miller back, who, ironically enough, I think is with the Falcons now.
Well, speaking of, we have back-to-back picks, back-to-back
us picks. Okay, so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game plan is this: we're getting an edge, or we're getting a corner. Between those two, because we got rid of Shaq Barrett, and we traded Carlton Davis. I keep seeing mock drafts say that we're going to trade up and get we're going to get Powers Johnson. I really don't think Hainsey's that bad of a center. I really don't. But between an edge and a corner, I think we do need edge because we got all these rotational pieces on the edge, but none of them are going to be starters. But I'd say we signed Randy Gregory, but it's not going to be the best option on earth. And Jared Verse is from Florida State, and that's going to be a major pull for Tampa fans because half of them are FSU, which is
Mike
very
Evans,
sad. No, Mike Evans is from
Randy
Texas.
Gregory, Lavonte
I'll say
David,
Mike Evans is Texas A&M, but then you're just listing off our gains.
free agents. Jordan Whitehead, Bryce Hall from the Jets, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a.
And then you re-signed Winfield.
Well, no,
he got a franchise tag.
We tagged him. I actually had a dream that we re-signed him. It was like for 4 years, $50 million. Say, I remember I woke up, I was on the phone, and then the phone said Bucks re-signed Antoine Winfield 4 years, some amount of money, and then I actually woke up. I don't know why I remember that, but that's what happened. Anyways, I am thinking Jared Verse here, and I will not change my mind.
Decent pick.
All right, Cardinals' second pick. They got a wide receiver. Now I think they use this pick to address their defense.
Yeah.
They either address their defense or they draft line.
I was going to say right now the current two that I'm thinking of is someone on defense, like a linebacker or an edge rusher, or someone like Guyton. I don't know who they have at right tackle though.
They got Paris Johnson Jr. at right tackle.
That's right. He's who do you have at left tackle though?
I think Guyton played left tackle at OU, so it fit.
No, it's hard to. I don't even know. Okay, they got Chris Moore.
Again, I'm completely fine.
Jonah Williams.
Jonah Williams, okay.
Who is a left tackle. They just signed him.
Yeah, Jonah Williams.
And they signed Evan Brown.
Yeah, they're okay. So I think they're fine at. I think they're relatively fine. Then.
They got Mac Wilson, linebacker, and Chris Barnes, linebacker.
Okay,
and
but
Coles, defensive tackle.
All right,
and Sean Murphy, bunting.
Keep it here. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. If they're getting defense, what do they need? The defensive players I have right now are all listed to be second-round talent.
They don't need safety. Jalen Thompson, Buda Baker. Honestly, corner?
Huh?
Corner. Sean Murphy Bunting currently is their best corner.
And yeah, no, Sean Murphy Bunting. He has his games, but he usually gets beat.
Yeah. Honestly, defensive tackle or corner.
Here's the thing, though. I have all the defensive positions listed. Their best players are in this order: Tyler Nubbin, safety; Peyton Wilson, linebacker; TJ Tampa, corner; Mike Sanstristel, corner. Not one of them is the only one that goes above being picked at around pick 40 is TJ Tampa with 39.4.
Dude, this is.
I will say, Chop Robinson's still on the board.
Who is he? Where is he?
He's 40.
Edge.
Yeah, he's edge.
Why is he falling?
I don't know.
Hard in this one?
I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe it was because he didn't have a good draft, a good combine. I think, but let's say he has. Like, I'm less hesitant about a defensive player with tools than a quarterback with tools. Honestly, I do think Chop Robinson would be a decent pick here, despite the rankings.
Let's do it, because I have no clue.
Yeah, neither do I. All right. Buffalo Bills, they got to get a wide receiver here, especially after the fact that they traded Stephon Diggs. Brian Robinson, no.
Brian Thomas or Adonai Mitchell? Adonai Mitchell. Didn't Mitchell have, like, a really good pro day?
Adonai But I know one of the Texas wide receivers had the fastest 40, like in combine history.
Was it Xavier Worthy or Adonai Mitchell? I think it
I,
was Worthy that had the fastest,
yeah,
but
I think
Adonai
it.
Mitchell also had a
Yes,
great.
I think it was Xavier Worthy that had the fastest one. Um, I will say I don't disagree with the pick of having a Donnie Mitchell here. I don't. But I'll say if you're Josh Allen and you have a rocket arm, you need somebody to catch up to that.
Let's roll with that then.
Yeah.
Let's roll with that. I don't think
Lions.
that's a bad pick.
Lions. They lost a couple pieces on that line, and they just addressed their needs at corner.
Let me look and see who they got. Donovan Peoples-Jones and re-signed Kevin Zeitler, Graham Glasgow extension. That's all they did. Dan Skipper as well.
Dan Skipper's a swing tackle at best, and he should have been.
Yeah.
He should have caught that touchdown pass against the Cowboys. Or was that? Oh no, that was Taylor Decker. Whatever. Either way. But if they take anybody here, it's going to be either Tyler Nubbin or they're going to take Tyler Guyton.
I would not be surprised with Nevin.
But I'll say because it might be a reach, but the last Minnesota safety that get drafted in the second round turned out pretty damn good.
No.
And they lost
Brian Thomas would not surprise me either.
I'll say and they just lost C.J. Gardner-Johnson to the Eagles, so
that is true. That is true.
I'll say Tyler Nubbin. I will say Tyler Nubbin.
All right. I'm good with that. That is probably our first true reach.
Yeah. All right, Baltimore. They need a new linebacker.
Desperately bad, actually.
Peyton Wilson's the highest one here, but he's not ready to go until like.
They did trade away their right tackle though, as well.
Did they?
I don't know. Did they sign him? But yeah, we were just talking about that a little while ago with the Jets. They traded a.
Oh right. If they need a tackle,
I don't know if that's their starter.
If they need a tackle, then Tyler Guyton's right there. Let's say Tyler Guyton.
Be surprised.
Yeah, honestly, I'd go for it.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
We won't think too hard into it.
San Francisco. What could have been if Greenlaw didn't bust his Achilles walking onto the field?
Speaking of
line, again. But I'll say I do think they need an insurance plan for whenever Trent Williams retires. But you can easily get that in the second round, so it's not going to be worth it to reach.
Yeah, there's really not anybody there. Honestly, do you want to hear my base take?
What?
I think Brian Thomas.
Honestly, I won't disagree, especially with the questions around Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, they might lose one of the two of their stars.
But I'll say
I think Ayuk is better than.
Yeah, I won't disagree. I will say I do like. I won't disagree. Brian Thomas here does sound like a good deal.
But that's just me. Like I said, that's kind of a. They're kind of good on offensive line. They're kind of good on defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of money to spend, or they did have a lot of money, and they bought a lot. Their weakness, they could use a good slot corner, or maybe not a good slot corner, but another corner, maybe out. Because I think late in the playoffs, they started getting their. They started putting.
They started putting. What was his name? They just released him. They just started putting Marquez Valdes-Scantling in the slot, and that somehow worked.
That's Scantling. That's a wide receiver.
Oh,
they were putting.
I thought we were still on the talk of wide receivers.
No, I was talking about slot corner. They had somebody, I think, in the Super Bowl that was either a slot corner by design or he was.
I was thinking the Chiefs, and then my mind floated away.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they took a corner, but the thing is a corner would have to fall to them because I
Yeah.
don't think they
All right.
would go
Look,
for
I'm
someone
fine
like
going.
TJ
I'm
Tampa.
fine going with Brian Thomas Jr.
Yep, that's
All right,
yeah.
and the most obvious wide receiver pick on the face of the earth.
Probably,
Well,
probably.
not well. I mean, as far as need is
Telling
concerned.
me they won't choose Bo Nix.
Well, here's the thing. Again, I like Xavier Worthy for the fact that he's quick. Like he's super quick. However, you
They
got
have him average pick 40. He's
yeah,
probably a high second or mid second
and
pick.
it's the last pick of the first round. Nobody's going to really care. And Xavier Worthy is very quick, and the last receiver they had that was very fast won them a Super Bowl. So
Yeah, or they trade down
they could trade
a little
down.
bit.
They could trade down with Carolina. We did this in the last draft. We
Who
could.
would who would get traded up for? Who would they trade up for?
I believe we had him taking Xavier Worthy too.
Um, they address some wide receivers
Yeah,
and
but I will
stuff.
say Lad McConkey, and Roman Wilson are there, and those are relatively good slot receivers.
I'm thinking that Worthy will go in the second round. To who I don't know, but I'm thinking I'm thinking Lakonki right now,
Okay,
but that's just me personally. I could get
I'll go.
convinced in the
I'll go with
second
it. I'll
round
go with it.
because I think that pick might be the best one. Because let's say
Ah,
they want to
shit.
go for Worthy or someone like that, you know,
Yeah, I gotcha.
I feel like they have a very high chance of trading down, and that would be a very good pick for a team like hell Green Bay or those mid contender
Hmm.
teams to trade up to if they really like somebody, or someone who's desperate for a first round draft pick, aka Carolina, to pick.
Okay.
Also, though, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually used that pick and their second round pick to trade up a few spots. For example, Adonai Mitchell is a very he's I think he's a step above McConkey as far as a prospect.
Hmm.
If they traded up even 5 or 6 picks, they might have a chance for someone like that who's I think just a step above something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, with all that being said, here is our full mock draft. It's not going to be captured completely on my screen, but because the way I have OBS set up, but I'll I'll put it up on the screen for everybody else to see it. But yeah, that's our third mock draft done.
I need to look into the comments of the last one to see if you get anybody say that this was terrible or this was good.
Oh, you think enough people watch me in order for me to get comments? I'm surprised I got past 700 subscribers.
Hey, hopefully, like like I said, we'll do one more probably.
Maybe. I'm putting a hard maybe
If
on
we
that.
we could maybe do the day of the draft. We could always sit
Yeah,
and watch the
about
draft.
to say if anything, I'll just live stream that. But
Yeah, it's like maybe we just watch the draft and like we say this is the pick. Like
yeah, I gotcha, I
like
gotcha.
this is what I think as it goes down the list.
Okay. Anyways,
The big one's Jaden Daniels. I think for me, that's the
yeah,
biggest one. He could fall or he could go. I don't. He's kind of like an Aaron Rodgers prospect. It's like entirely what teams think about him. I hope he goes number 2 overall. I think that he should go 2 overall. But
yeah. All right, well, that's it for this one. This is 3.0, so if you guys enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to, click the bell to get notifications when I upload. Draz's Twitch channel will be down in the description as per always when we do these.
I
And
don't talk about football. I just rage at Dead by Daylight.
you haven't been doing that recently because you haven't been playing it. But I hope you
Oh, that's
guys,
true.
I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you guys next time. See ya.